There's a question most people never dare to ask, because the answer is uncomfortable. Why do some people get treated like they matter, while others get ignored, even when they work harder? It's not talent, it's not luck, and it's not fairness. This video is about the rule that decides value, before anyone speaks, before effort is noticed, before respect is shown. If you feel curious instead of defensive, you're exactly where you should be. The brutal truth about value: there is a lie most people live inside their entire lives. It's comfortable, it's polite, and it keeps them weak. The lie is this: that value is something you are. That if you are good enough, honest enough, hardworking enough, the world will eventually notice and reward you. That belief is poison, because value is not moral, it is not fair, and it is not distributed based on effort. Value is assigned, and the world assigns it brutally. Look around and you'll see it everywhere. People who contribute little, but are treated as important. People who work endlessly and remain invisible. People who talk loudly and command attention. People who stay silent and are ignored. This isn't coincidence, it's hierarchy. Human beings do not operate on intention, they operate on leverage. The world does not ask, is this person good? It asks, what happens if this person leaves? That answer determines everything: your respect, your freedom, your options. Most people avoid this truth because it's humiliating. It means effort alone means nothing. It means sincerity doesn't protect you. It means being kind without being useful makes you disposable. So they retreat into fantasy. They say things like, I deserve more. They don't see my potential. One day they'll regret it. But the world doesn't regret ignoring what it never needed. This is the first brutal truth about value. If your absence changes nothing, your presence was never valuable, and that hurts. But it also clarifies everything. Value is not who you are. It is the impact you create on systems larger than yourself. Remove emotion from it, and it becomes obvious. A tool that solves a real problem has value. A person who reduces friction has value. A mind that produces outcomes has value. Everything else is noise. This is why morality without utility is ignored. Niccolo Machiavelli understood this long before modern society tried to soften it. He did not study what should happen. He studied what actually happens. And what actually happens is simple. People respect what they need. They follow what protects them. They elevate what gives them advantage. They do not reward effort. They reward results. This is why complaining about being undervalued is meaningless. The world is not confused about your worth. It has already decided, based on evidence, based on outcomes, based on whether removing you creates a problem or relief. Once you accept this, something important shifts. You stop trying to be appreciated. You stop explaining your intentions. You stop demanding recognition. And you start asking the only question that matters: what breaks if I'm gone? If the answer is nothing, that is not an insult. It is a diagnosis. And diagnoses can be treated, but only if you stop lying to yourself first. This is where increasing your value actually begins. Why value is never given. One of the most dangerous beliefs you can carry is the belief that value is owed. That if you work hard enough, stay loyal long enough, or wait patiently enough, someone will eventually recognize you and reward you. That belief turns capable people into beggars, because value is never given, it is assigned, and assignment follows power, not effort. Human beings do not hand out value out of fairness. They assign it based on leverage. Who creates results? Who solves problems? Who changes outcomes? That's it. Everything else is decoration. This is why asking for recognition quietly destroys your position. The moment you ask to be valued, you reveal that you don't have enough leverage for value to be assigned automatically. And the world notices that immediately. People don't consciously think this through. They feel it. They sense who needs approval and who doesn't. And neediness collapses perceived value. This is why loyalty without leverage backfires. If you stay, comply, and endure, without increasing your usefulness, you don't become respected. You become replaceable. Because staying is not value. Enduring is not value. Trying is not value. Impact is. This is the part most people refuse to accept. They think morality should matter. They think intention should count. They think suffering should be rewarded. But systems don't care about fairness. They care about function. A system values what keeps it running and discards what doesn't. That's why value is never gifted through kindness. It is assigned through necessity. Machiavelli made this clear centuries ago when he observed rulers, courts, and power structures. He didn't say people should reward virtue. He showed that people reward what protects their position. And that hasn't changed. In every hierarchy, corporate, social, political, the same rule applies. The person who creates dependency gains value, not emotional dependency, functional dependency. If your presence removes pain, creates gain, or prevents loss, your value rises automatically. No speech is required, no self-promotion needed. Value announces itself through consequence. This is why some people are treated carefully. Without demanding respect, their removal would create chaos. And chaos is expensive, so they are protected. Meanwhile, people who deserve more are often treated casually because their absence is cheap. This is uncomfortable, but it explains everything. Why some people are ignored despite effort, why others rise without explanation, why complaining never works. Because value is not a debate, it's a verdict, and verdicts are based on evidence. Once you understand this, you stop waiting, you stop asking, you stop hoping someone will notice. You realize something critical. If value is never given, it must be engineered, assigned by necessity, locked in by consequence. And once value is assigned, the world adjusts its behavior automatically. If what you're hearing feels uncomfortable, that's because it removes excuses. Subscribe to this channel, not for motivation, but to stay aligned with reality instead of comfort. And in the comments, write one line only: value is not given. No explanations, no debates. Those who get it already know why. Scarcity, distance, and power. Why access determines worth. Value does not rise through effort alone. It rises through scarcity. This is the rule most people violate daily. Without realizing it, they are always available, always responding, always explaining, always present. And because of that, they are treated as common. Human psychology does not value what is abundant. It values what is limited, what is difficult to access, what cannot be replaced easily. This is not cruel, it is instinct. In nature, abundance is ignored. Scarcity commands attention. The same law governs human hierarchies. The more available you are, the less you are respected. The more predictable your presence, the less power you hold. People confuse accessibility with kindness. They confuse responsiveness with loyalty. They confuse openness with trust. But power reads these signals differently. Availability signals need. Distance signals independence. And independence is attractive to power. This is why the people with the highest leverage are rarely the most visible. They are not chasing attention. Attention is oriented toward them. They are not always reachable. They decide when access is granted. And because access is selective, it becomes valuable. Scarcity does not mean arrogance. It means boundaries. It means your time is not negotiable. Your attention is not free. Your presence is conditional. This is where most people panic. They fear distance will make them irrelevant. They fear silence will erase them. They fear absence will be punished. But the opposite happens. Distance creates gravity. When you stop reacting immediately, people lean in. When you stop explaining yourself, people speculate. When you stop offering access freely, people reassess your worth. This is the quiet mechanics of power. Machiavelli understood this long before modern culture tried to flatten hierarchies. He warned rulers against being seen too often, too familiar, too accessible, because familiarity dissolves authority. A figure who can be reached at any moment is no longer feared, no longer respected, no longer powerful. Scarcity protects position. Distance protects value. This is why people who withdraw strategically often gain more influence than those who push forward loudly. They create a vacuum. And humans rush to fill vacuums, not because they care, but because uncertainty is uncomfortable. When you are always present, nothing changes if you leave. When you are selectively absent, your absence is noticed immediately, and that reaction tells you everything you need to know about your real value. Scarcity is not manipulation, it is alignment with reality. It forces others to confront how much they actually rely on you, and reliance is the foundation of power. Once you understand this, you stop over-giving, you stop over-explaining, you stop over-presence. You let distance do the work effort never could, because power is not built by chasing attention, it is built by controlling access. Becoming useful, not likable. There is a mistake that destroys more potential than lack of talent ever could. Trying to be likable. Most people are trained to optimize for approval. They learn to read the room. They soften their opinions. They avoid friction. They believe likability creates value. It doesn't. It creates comfort. And comfort is cheap. Likability makes people pleasant to be around, but usefulness makes people necessary. Power does not protect what is pleasant. It protects what it cannot afford to lose. This is where the brutal separation happens. Likable people are tolerated. Useful people are retained. Likable people are invited. Useful people are consulted. Likable people are replaceable. Useful people are defended. Most hierarchies make this distinction silently. No one announces it. No one explains it. But everyone behaves according to it. This is why being nice, without being effective, slowly erodes your position. You become background. People enjoy you, but they don't rely on you. And reliance is the only currency that matters. To increase your value, you must solve problems others avoid. Not small problems. Not convenient problems. Problems that are painful, complex, or emotionally exhausting. That's where leverage lives. Anyone can agree. Few can execute. Anyone can sympathize. Few can deliver under pressure. When you become the person who removes friction, value is assigned automatically. No self-promotion needed. This is why morality without utility fails. Being good does not protect you. Being indispensable does. Niccolo Machiavelli observed this clearly. He noted that rulers were loved until they were no longer useful, and then they were discarded without hesitation. Love is conditional. Utility is structural. This is why power aligns with competence, not character. People do not ask, "Is this person admirable?" They ask, "What happens if this person is gone?" If the answer is inconvenience, your value is low. If the answer is disruption, your value is rising. This requires an uncomfortable shift. You stop asking, "Do they like me?" You start asking, "What do they need?" And then you become exceptional at delivering that. Without drama, without explanation, without expectation of praise. This is not about manipulation. It is about alignment with how systems actually work. Systems reward outputs, not intentions. When you become useful, people change their tone around you. They listen more carefully. They hesitate before dismissing you. They adjust their behavior, not because you demanded respect, but because your absence became expensive. This is the moment likability becomes irrelevant. You don't need to be warm, you need to be effective. You don't need to be understood, you need to be relied upon. And once reliance is established, respect follows without negotiation. The shift in treatment. When your value forces respect, there is a moment that arrives quietly, almost invisibly. No announcement, no apology, no confession, but everything changes. This is the moment when your value becomes undeniable, and the world adjusts without asking you for permission. You don't demand respect. You don't negotiate status. You don't explain who you've become. You notice it in behavior. People respond faster. They listen longer. They choose their words more carefully. The same individuals who once dismissed you, overlooked you, or spoke casually in your presence, now hesitate. Not because they like you more, but because the cost of disrespect has increased. This is the shift most people misunderstand. They think respect comes from confidence, from dominance, from being louder or more aggressive. It doesn't. Respect comes from consequence. When your actions carry weight, people adjust instinctively. They don't sit down and rethink their beliefs about you. Their nervous system does it for them. Human beings are remarkably consistent in this way. They treat people according to perceived leverage. When you had none, you were ignored. When you gain it, their tone changes automatically. This is how you know your value has risen. Not through compliments, but through caution. People stop interrupting you. They stop making jokes at your expense. They stop assuming access to your time. They begin to check first. And this is important. They will never acknowledge the shift openly. They will act as if this is how it's always been. This is not hypocrisy. It is self-preservation. Admitting they misjudged you would mean admitting their earlier behavior was wrong. So instead, history is quietly rewritten. Niccolo Machiavelli understood this dynamic clearly. He observed that men rarely change their nature. They change their behavior when incentives change. Respect is not a moral decision. It is a strategic one. When ignoring you becomes risky, you are treated carefully. This is why arguing for respect never works. If you have to explain your worth, it hasn't been established. If you have to remind people of your value, it is still optional. Real value does not ask. It enforces itself through absence, through disruption, through cost. When you leave a room and things slow down, confusion spreads, or progress stalls, your value is confirmed. And here is the final test in this phase. When respect arrives, many people sabotage themselves. They become resentful. They seek validation. They want acknowledgement for past neglect. This weakens their position. Power is maintained by restraint, not reaction. You do not punish people for past blindness. You do not seek emotional repayment. You remain consistent, because consistency signals stability, and stability is trusted. This is the final transformation. You stop caring who respects you, because respect is now built into the structure. You don't need approval. You don't need recognition. Your value has already changed the rules, and the world is simply playing catch-up. If you stayed until the end, then you already understand something most people never will. Value is not negotiated. It is not requested. And it is never handed out because someone feels generous. It is assigned, silently, based on consequence. People didn't treat you differently because you changed your attitude. They changed because your absence became expensive. That is the only language power respects. You don't need to announce who you are becoming. You don't need to convince anyone of your worth. You don't need to argue with people who still measure value through effort and intention. Let them believe whatever keeps them comfortable. You now know the rule. Increase leverage. Control access. Become necessary. Everything else rearranges itself automatically. This channel exists for people who are done being invisible and done pretending the world is fair. If you're one of them, you already know what to do. The rest will catch up later.